and it is also some of our most important formative years of becoming who we are as physicians. This past year was particularly unique, as it will be defined by some important events such as the pandemic, the election, and events demonstrating systemic racism. Fortunately, our residents are resilient and adaptable, and I continue to be amazed. In whatever next steps lie in front of you, I'm hopeful that you will represent CMAR by continuing to demonstrate patient-centered, culturally competent care for the underserved and by being leaders in the community. So I'm going to start by recognizing the family medicine graduates. This year represents a few milestones for the family medicine residency program at the Seattle Clinic. This marks 30 years of the family medicine residency, and we're graduating our 60th and 61st family medicine physicians. Our graduates have gone on to become leaders in the communities across the country, and I have no doubt the same is in store for Jenny and Juan. This is a special sentimental year for me because Jenny and Juan were the first class of residents where I was the site director for the entire time, from recruitment, interview, match, and residency, and now graduation. I also want to acknowledge some changes to the residency faculty. Miguel Jimenez, who has been with us for a very long time, is moving up to the Linwood Clinic after many years here with us. Also, Usha Rao, who worked with the residents in the hospital and precepted in the clinic, will be moving to California, so they will be greatly missed. I'm sad to see them go, and their legacy and impact on the residency program will not be forgotten. Before we continue, I'd like to introduce our two new residents who just started last week. Will you all stand? So, Stacy Martinez and Andrea Pilota. So we have some gifts for you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Jenny, will you join me up here? Whatever.
Too late.
We're back soon. So before joining CMAR residency, Jenny demonstrated a history for advocacy for the Latino community. During her time at the residency and with some introspection, she developed a renewed passion for also serving the Vietnamese community. As recruitment chief for the residency program, Jenny assisted with recruiting a diverse new class of intern residents to the Swedish residency program. She helped the residency apply an anti-racism lens to the recruitment process. And earlier this year, she welcomed Damien to the family.
Yay!
I'm excited to see Jenny as a colleague when she joins the CMAR White Center Clinic, and most importantly, joining our call group. So we have some gifts for you. And then this is a gift from the faculty, from the presenters.
Thank you. It's like so fast.
Will you join me? We were excited to welcome Juan to the CMAR residency because of his own personal story and path to medicine. We were lucky to see his skillful and empathic way of interacting with patients and colleagues, which explains his successful history of leadership before and during residency. Juan took a specific interest in OB. He served as the residency's OB chair, and he took on the high-risk OB review process at the CMAR Seattle Clinic site. He'll be starting the Advanced OB Fellowship this summer, where he'll train to perform C-sections. We are excited for you and hope you make your way back. So I'd like to welcome Cor Van Niel to introduce the pediatrics graduates.
Thanks, Daniel. My name is Cor Van Niel. I'm a pediatrician here at CMAR and a preceptor for the pediatrics residents who do their continuity clinic here at our clinic and do the rest of their training at Seattle Children's. First, I would like to introduce our two new pediatrics residents who will be starting their continuity clinic at CMAR soon. Dr. Eric Robles grew up in Colorado and went to college and medical school in South Carolina. We hear he's thinking about buying a bike, so maybe he will take Mark's place as a bike commuting resident. We welcome him to the Pacific Northwest. Please stand up, Eric. Bienvenidos a CMAR. Our other new R1 is Dr. Blair Steers. Blair grew up and went to school in California. And in med school, did some great work with Latino patients in Los Angeles. She likes new restaurants and hopefully new food trucks too, now that she will be in South Park every week. Bienvenidos, Blair. Now I would like to congratulate and thank our graduates. It was 3 years ago on a hot graduation evening in South Park that we met Dr. Maria Palomino and Dr. Mark Castera. Back then, they each brought their mothers to their first CMAR event as residents. And it's fitting that their mothers are their guests again tonight.
Or is it both of us or just me?
Just you.
Oh, just
So Maria was born in Peru and grew up around Seattle. She's been an outstanding doctor for her pediatric patients and their families here at CMAR. She has been moved by her patients' stories and keeps those stories with her, accumulating a great deal of empathy and love for them as she has developed as a pediatrician. Maria is not afraid to go against the grain and be unconventional at times. She's not afraid to prescribe a medication off-label if she knows it will help her patients. And although Maria likes Mexican and Peruvian food and has strong opinions about what restaurants are good around Seattle, she's also not afraid to go to Taco Bell and actually enjoys the food there. Maria's strengths as an individual are so beneficial to the children and families she cares for and advocates for, and they have been so fortunate to have her as their doctor. Maria has been a wonderful colleague too, lifting us up with her easy laugh and kindness. When Maria runs to Residencia for coffee, she always asks everyone what she can get them. I hope Residencia can stay in business next year. Maria, you have to come back and visit. Fortunately, Maria will be nearby next year, working as a neonatal hospitalist at St. Anne's Hospital and at Children's. Gracias y felicitaciones. Our other graduate is Mark. It's also been our honor to have this wonderful doctor working with us as part of the CMAR family these last 3 years. Everyone who is lucky to know Mark will tell you how humble, thoughtful, and personable he is. Mark is from Kansas City, but his family is originally Puerto Rican on his dad's side and Irish on his mom's side. He's actually an Irish citizen. Mark has improved our clinic with his fantastic clinical care, his Pato Donald comic book collection, and his generosity and friendliness. I will never forget the wide eyes and wide smile on Mark's face when he reduced a child's dislocated elbow for the first time. And I also won't forget his commitment to one teenage patient with latent tuberculosis, whom he called every week for months to make sure he took all of his medications. We will also miss Mark very much, as will his patients and families. Despite my best efforts, Mark is also going into neonatology and will start his fellowship in Philadelphia in a couple of weeks. Mucha suerte. Felicitaciones, Mark.
So I'd like to invite the graduates up to do their presentations and awards. We can start with the family medicine graduate.
Okay. First of all, thank you all for being here and for sharing this moment with us. Jenny and I are going to award 4 different, awards. 6? 6. The first one we are dedicating to 2 of our most beloved MAs. All of you are amazing, but I think we really had an especially good bond with these 2 MAs during our second year. It was a challenging year. I think COVID happened right in the middle of it, and I feel like these 2 MAs were vital to keeping us sane, keeping us laughing throughout a busy clinic day. I think the laughter is probably the thing that we appreciate most. And even outside of the clinic, we were pretty fortunate to make good friends with both of them. I think I see one here, the other I don't think is here. But if Lily can stand.
And the official name of the award was the MA Duo of the Year that we wanted to grant them. And the next pair of awards that we had was also for another duo in our clinic that have been really instrumental over the last 3 years. Not only just literally keeping our clinic alive and functioning, but also really helping put out all the fires that we started as residents. When everything went wrong in the clinic, we would come running to their desk and say, hey, what do we do now? And things would be fixed within a matter of minutes. And so, especially through the past year with COVID and everything, we wanted to acknowledge the work that they put in, trying to cover and fill so many additional roles, from being our MA supervisors to also covering the front desk and also the screening and everything else above it. They've literally just gone above and beyond. And so the pair of awards, we wanted to recognize both Ruth and Eva for the MA MVPs for our clinic. Okay, and the last 2 awards are specifically for kind of our preceptor, some preceptors that have had a large impact in our learning, especially with their teaching over the past couple years. And so when I think of the award that we were about to award, it's called the Drew Malloy Excellence in Teaching Award. I just think back to when I was an intern trying to figure out how to do OB and FMS. And at the time that this preceptor was still a resident, but had just returned from an amazing abroad rotation in Guatemala, and came back and was functioning pretty much as a junior attending on the OB ward. I just was I want to be this person when I continue to do OB as an attending. And so there's just it's hard to really encompass everything that this preceptor has had or has done for us. And so we wanted to recognize Dr. Zabaya for her teaching over the last couple of years.
Okay. And last but not least, our last award is called El Alma de la Resistencia Award. And so we thought pretty long and hard about this, but I think it was pretty easy at the end to make the decision. So this award really recognizes somebody who has committed a lot of themselves to CMAR. and to the residency, and really to us, and they've been really influential, I think, in both of our lives. I think that's pretty safe to say. He works a lot behind the scenes and makes things happen for us all the time. He's always present. He checks in pretty frequently. I remember having multiple dinners with him, and you know, it's just great to have a mentor like him with whom to talk about things outside of residency, but also things, you know, within residency, like getting my evaluations in on time so that I can graduate. So we'd like to recognize Daniel Rivas for being such an amazing attendee.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now I invite the pediatric graduates to do their awards and presentations.
So we'll get started here. I guess we've been really enjoyed our time in the past few years, and CMAR really enjoyed working with all of you. We'd just like to recognize our time with Core. I think he's been a really wonderful mentor to both Maria and me. We've also had a great time working with Christina too, so we just can't thank you both enough for all you've done to help teach us the fundamentals of pediatrics and give us the confidence to work with our patients and families and advocate for them in a really special way. So we really admire both you guys for the long-standing work you do in the clinic. I guess we just have an award up here for Core. Yeah, thanks so much.
And then the next award that we have, also sorry that I was late. I've been in the woods for the past 3 days. So I just drove straight here. So I'm very sunburnt and dehydrated. But the next award is for someone that went above and beyond this year to help us and really became our friend and made kind of this hectic year way easier to cope with, and was really real and sometimes acknowledged that she didn't want to be there because it was some days were just really hard, and that's how we felt too. So it was just nice to be able to be real around someone, and that's Jenny. I can never say it. Fania. Yeah.
Thanks.
So just to close up, I would like to introduce Claudia Marchen, who's our new residency coordinator. And I want to give a special thanks to Claudia, Kenya, and Jennifer for putting this whole thing on. It looks great. So that's our programming. Thank you all for coming. Enjoy the food and the cake. Feel free to hang out for a little bit too.
Oh yeah. Hi. Thank you for coming.